At 3 a.m., the world is asleep, but your future is awake, pacing, waiting for you. Between 3 and 5 a.m., the noise falls away, the opinions fade, the doubts quiet down. It's just you and the truth. This is the hour where discipline is forged, where decisions echo for decades, where you stop negotiating with your excuses and start building the life you promised yourself. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a decision. Wake up between 3 and 5 a.m. and do these things, not to impress the world, but to become the kind of person who doesn't need to. Today, you stop hitting snooze on your soul. Today, you rise. There's something different about the hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. It's not just another time on the clock. It's not just early morning. It is sacred space. The world is asleep. The streets are silent. The noise of social media hasn't even woken up yet. The world isn't pulling at you. Your phone isn't buzzing. And no one is demanding your attention. It is just you and the life you say you want. This is the time when champions are made, not because of the clock, but because of what that clock represents. It represents choice, discipline, identity. While the rest of the world chooses comfort, you choose character. While they roll over for just 10 more minutes, you are already moving toward the version of yourself that others will one day admire, but never understand. And here's the truth. It's not about the time. It's about what the time does to you. It rewires your mind. When you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m., you're telling yourself a story about who you are. You're saying, I am not average. I do not follow the crowd. I refuse to live on everyone else's schedule. I create my own. And that story, repeated day after day, becomes your identity. Think about it. Everything in life is competing for your attention. Emails, texts, ads, people, obligations. Everyone wants a piece of you. But at 3 a.m., nobody's coming for you. There's no competition. It's the cleanest space you'll ever get to hear your own thoughts, to focus without interruption, to move without resistance. That is why these hours matter. This is not about being a morning person. Forget that. This is about becoming a disciplined person. People always say, I'm not a morning person. But that's just another excuse. You don't need to be a morning person. You need to be a person of decisions. You need to be a person who can do the thing they don't want to do, because it builds the life they do want to live. And let's be honest, the hardest part is not getting up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. The hardest part is facing the voice in your head that says, just sleep a little longer. You'll start tomorrow. You deserve rest. That voice doesn't care about your dreams. That voice doesn't care about your goals, your family, or your legacy. That voice cares about comfort. And comfort has killed more dreams than failure ever could. But when you get up in those hours, when you put your feet on the ground while the rest of the world sleeps, you silence that voice. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. You train your willpower like a muscle, and each day it gets stronger. Eventually, it's not even about the clock anymore. It's about who you are becoming. Understand this. Small hinges swing big doors. one shift, one habit can unlock everything. Waking up early may not seem like much, but over weeks, months, years, it changes everything. Because those quiet hours stack. 1 hour becomes hundreds, and hundreds become thousands. That's thousands of hours you've invested in yourself, while the rest of the world slept through their potential. Imagine what you could do with that extra time. Maybe it's writing the book you keep putting off. Maybe it's building the business you dream about, but never have time for. Maybe it's taking care of your health, training your body, feeding your mind, sharpening your skills. Or maybe it's simply giving yourself the gift of silence before the storm of the day. Whatever it is, these hours give you what you say you've been missing. Time. And if you don't claim those hours, then the world will waking up early doesn't begin in the morning. It begins the night before. That's the part most people forget. They think discipline is only about what you do when the alarm rings. But the truth is, the battle is already won or lost before your head even hits the pillow. The morning belongs to those who respect the evening. If you stay up scrolling until midnight, binging shows, or drowning your mind in noise, you're not setting yourself up for victory. You're handing your future over to fatigue. Success is not about willpower in the morning. It's about preparation at night. Think about it. An athlete doesn't show up to the race unprepared. They lay out their clothes, their shoes, their strategy. They fuel their body the day before. So when the moment comes, they are ready. Why should you treat your life with any less respect? Your morning is your race, and the night before is your preparation. The first step in the night before protocol is protecting your sleep. Greatness is not about burning yourself out. It's not about staying up until 2 a.m. and pretending you can survive on 3 hours of rest. That's not discipline. That's sabotage. Real discipline is saying, I value my body, my mind, and my future enough to shut things down and recharge properly. If you want to rise between 3 and 5 a.m., you need to reverse engineer your bedtime. 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep is not a luxury. It's fuel. And here's the emotional truth. You can't keep telling yourself you want a different life if you keep living the same nights. Every late-night distraction, every mindless scroll, every hour wasted past your bedtime is a vote against your future self. You say you want success, but your habits after dark reveal the truth. This is first 60 seconds after you wake up are everything. They are the difference between momentum and mediocrity, between discipline and defeat. Those first moments are not just about your body waking up. They are about your identity declaring itself. Most people lose their day before it even begins. The alarm rings, and instead of rising, they negotiate. Just 5 more minutes. Just 1 more snooze. But 5 minutes becomes 15, 15 becomes 30, and before they know it, the morning they promised themselves is gone. Their future was waiting at 4 a.m., but they chose to stay in bed with their excuses. And it's not the snooze button that kills them. It's the message they send to themselves. My comfort is more important than my calling. But not you. Not anymore. When the alarm goes off, your decision is already made. You don't debate with yourself. You don't bargain. You rise. Feet on the floor, back straight, shoulders squared. The moment your body lifts itself out of bed, you are telling your mind, I am in control. That single act rules moment you rise. Your body may be awake, but your spirit is still searching for alignment. And this is where most people stumble. They wake up, but they never truly wake up. They rush into the day still carrying the weight of yesterday, the stress of their past, or the anxiety of what's ahead. But if you want to own your mornings, you must learn to reset, to breathe, and to anchor yourself in gratitude before the world gets a chance to shake you. Let's start with the breath. Breathing sounds simple, too simple to matter. But breath is the bridge between chaos and calm. When you control your breath, you control your state. Think about it. In moments of fear, your breathing becomes shallow. In moments of peace, it slows and deepens. The breath is your steering wheel, and the way you use it determines the direction of your emotions. So, in those early hours, the first practice is intentional breathing. Close your eyes. Stand tall or sit straight, and take 10 slow, deliberate breaths. Inhale through your nose. Let the air fill your belly. Hold it, and then release it slowly. Some call it box breathing, for counts in, for counts hold, for counts out, for counts hold. Others keep it simple. Deep inhale, slow exhale. It doesn't matter the technique. What matters is the intention. With each breath, you're telling your body, I am calm, I am present, I am in control. And in those minutes, your heartbeat steadies, your mind clears, and your spirit lifts. You are not rushing into the world's demands. You are centering yourself first. You are training your nervous system not to panic, but to respond with strength. But breathing is only half the battle. The second half is gratitude. Gratitude is not just about listing nice things in your life. Gratitude is power. Gratitude is perspective. Gratitude is remembering, before you do anything else, that you already have enough, that you already are enough, that life is already giving you blessings you once prayed for. Most people wake up and immediately think of what's missing, the bills, the problems, the stress. But you flip the script. You pick up your pen and you write down 3 gratitudes. Not vague, not generic, specific. One small thing, maybe the comfort of your bed, the glass of water in front of you, or the quiet of the early morning. One person, someone who supports you, loves you, or even challenges you. And one struggle. Yes, a challenge. Because even your pain is shaping you into something greater. When you write these down, you're not just making a list. You're rewiring your brain. Science proves that gratitude activates the parched body is the doorway to the mind. You cannot step into a powerful day with a sluggish body, with heavy eyes and stiff muscles. You need a spark, something that tells every cell inside you, wake up. It's time to rise. That spark comes from 2 simple practices, the cold start and micro-movement. Let's begin with the cold. Imagine standing in front of the sink, splashing your face with water so cold it shocks you out of yesterday, or stepping into the shower and feeling that first wave hit your skin, every nerve ending alive. Every Distraction gone. Most people run from discomfort, but you are not most people. When you embrace the cold, you train yourself to lean into resistance instead of avoiding it. It doesn't have to be extreme. It can be 30 seconds under a cool stream of water, or just washing your face with icy water. What matters is the message it sends. I choose discomfort. I choose discipline. I choose life. The cold doesn't just wake you up physically. It wakes you up mentally. It tells your world is loud every day. From the moment most people wake up, they are pulled into the noise. Notifications buzzing, emails waiting, voices demanding, and problems screaming for attention. It's no wonder people feel drained before the day even begins. But the truth is this: if you don't learn how to create silence, the noise will own you. And this is why, in the sacred hours of 3 to 5 a.m., silence, prayer, or meditation must become your foundation. When you sit in silence, you step into a space that few ever experience. Most people are terrified of quiet because in the quiet, you meet yourself. You can no longer hide behind distractions, entertainment, or busyness. Silence strips you down to the truth. It asks, who are you? What do you believe? What do you want? The mind is like a crowded room. Thoughts come and go, voices overlap, and distractions pull at you from every corner. If you don't clear that room, you carry chaos into the day. You can wake up early, breathe deeply, even pray, but if your mind is cluttered, you will still feel heavy. That's why journaling in those sacred morning hours is not just a task. It's therapy. It's clarity. It's the moment you step into the driver's seat of your mind. Most people think journaling is about writing paragraphs or keeping a diary, but this is different. This isn't about being poetic or creating something polished. This is about honesty. This is about spilling the noise on the page so your spirit can breathe again. When your thoughts stay locked in your head, they grow louder, heavier, more chaotic. But the moment you put them on paper, they shrink. They stop controlling you. You see them for what they are, just thoughts, not reality. Before anything exists in the world, it exists in the mind. Every building, every invention, every success. The story began as an image inside someone's imagination, and your future is no different. The life you want, the discipline you're trying to build, the results you're chasing, they will never happen by accident. They will happen because you've already seen them, felt them, and rehearsed them long before they became real. That is the power of visualization. But let's be honest, most people visualize the wrong things. They replay their failures. They imagine rejection. They dwell on fear. They see themselves quitting before they even begin. Without realizing it, they rehearse defeat every single day. And when the moment of action comes, their mind simply follows the script they've been writing in secret. You are not going to make that mistake, because when you rise between 3 and 5 a.m., when the world is silent, you have a rare opportunity to reprogram your identity. You have a chance to create a movie in your mind that pulls you forward with power. Close your eyes, breathe deep, and picture your day already won. See yourself walking into that meeting with unshakable confidence. See yourself completing the workout with strength in every rep See yourself writing the last page of that project, building the business, or speaking the words you've been afraid to say. Don't just think it, feel it. Let your body experience the victory as if it's already here. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. When you rehearse success, your nervous system responds as if it already happened. You stand taller, you breathe deeper, you move differently, and when you step into the real world, your mind recognizes the scene. I've been here before. I know how to win this. But visualization is not just about outcomes. It's about identity. Because if you don't change how you see yourself, nothing will change permanently. You can try new habits, but if deep down you still believe you are lazy, undisciplined, or weak, your actions will eventually fall back in line with that identity. That's why you must speak new truths over yourself every morning. 3 declarations, strong and simple. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am becoming unstoppable. Say them out loud. Say them until your voice doesn't shake. At first, your mind will resist. It will whisper back, "No, you're not." Look at your past. Remember when you quit. But that's exactly why you must keep speaking. Because repetition rewires belief, and belief reshapes identity. The world will always try to name you by your mistakes, your past, your failures. But at 4 a.m., in the silence, you rename yourself. You take back the authority over who you are becoming. And here's the hard truth. If you don't create this identity, the world will create one for you. You'll be labeled average, ordinary, replaceable. And deep down, you'll start to accept it. But if you do the work, if you see yourself as disciplined, focused, powerful, your actions will eventually catch up with that vision. Because identity always drives behavior. Now, don't just visualize the glory. Also visualize the cost of inaction. Picture yourself 5 years from now, still stuck, still making excuses, still hitting snooze on your potential. Feel that disappointment. Taste the regret. Let it burn. Because regret is a fire that either destroys you later or fuels you now. Then shift back. See the other future, the stronger one, the version of you who showed up when it was hard, who fought through the resistance, who kept choosing discipline until it became natural. See that person standing tall, respected, fulfilled, proud. That's not a fantasy. That's a preview of who you become when you keep choosing the vision over the excuse. Each morning, you are rehearsing one of those futures, and the choice begins in your imagination. The biggest mistake most people make when they wake up early is this. They waste the gift of those sacred hours by filling their day with busyness instead of purpose. They confuse movement with progress, activity with achievement. They write endless to-do lists, and by the time the sun sets, they've checked 100 little boxes, but feel no closer to the life they want. And deep down, they know it. They're exhausted, but not fulfilled. They've been busy, but not effective. That's why you need the rule of 3. The rule of 3 is simple, but powerful, no matter what else happens. You define 3 essential outcomes that will make this day a victory. Not 30 tasks, not 20 reminders. Not a pageanthier is a moment every day when you can choose to be average, to scroll, to check notifications, to let your mind wander, or to be extraordinary. That moment comes in the quiet hours after you've risen, after you've centered yourself, after you've aligned your mind and body. This is the time for deep work, and it is here that success separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. Deep work is not just working hard. Anyone can grind endlessly and get nowhere. Deep work is the art of total focus, the discipline to enter a state where the world disappears, where distractions cease to exist, and where your mind, energy, and creativity are devoted to a single, powerful goal. It's the place where ideas are born, skills are honed, and results are created, often silently, while everyone else sleeps or scrolls. The challenge is this: our world is designed for shallow attention. Notifications, emails, social media, messages, all of it fights for your brain's focus. It's seductive. It whispers, check this, respond now, don't miss out. And if you give in, even for a moment, the momentum of your morning is shattered. Deep work requires a radical commitment. No excuses, no mercy. Once you enter this space, you defend it as fiercely as a general defends a fortress. The first step is to choose a single, high-impact task, not 10 tasks. Not a checklist that makes you feel busy but changes nothing. One task that, if completed, will make the rest of your day feel like a success. This is your first domino. Everything else becomes secondary. You protect this task like your life depends on it. Because in a very real way, it does. Your future self is built in these moments. Next, you eliminate distractions. Put your phone in another room. Close every unnecessary tab. Silence every notification. Tell yourself, this is sacred time. It is not negotiable. Even 45 minutes of undisturbed, focused work can achieve more than hours of fragmented attention. Your mind craves this focus, even if it resists at first. And when the resistance rises, because it will, you push through. You train yourself not to follow fleeting impulses, but to follow purpose. Deep work is not comfortable. It's not glamorous. It feels like effort. And that's precisely why it works. Comfort creates mediocrity. Effort creates mastery. When you commit fully to a deep work block, you tap into a rare energy, the energy of creation, of clarity, of progress. Hours may pass, but you emerge feeling lighter, sharper, and more powerful than before. You've moved the needle on your life in ways most people never will, because they were too distracted to start. One technique to amplify this focus is to use a timer. A Pomodoro, if you like. 50 minutes of immersion, 10 minutes of pause. During those 50 minutes, you are fully alive in your task. The world outside cannot touch you. And during the 10-minute break, you reset, reflect, and prepare to strike again. Each session compounds, and soon your skill, output, and confidence grow exponentially. Another essential component is measuring output, not time. Hours do not equal results. 1 hour of shallow activity can leave you exhausted and unfulfilled, while 45 minutes of deep, undistracted work can change the trajectory of your life. Judge yourself not by the clock, but by what you create, by the breakthroughs you achieve and by the progress you make toward your goals. Deep work also teaches resilience. The mind resists focus because it prefers ease. Every time you conquer that resistance, you reinforce your identity. I am disciplined. I am unstoppable. I am in control of my attention and my life. This identity does not fade when the alarm rings. It carries with you into meetings, projects, workouts, and decisions. It becomes your default. Finally, deep work is a habit. The first few sessions may feel awkward, even frustrating. You may fight boredom, doubt, or mental fatigue. But the magic happens when you persist. When you show up day after day, at the same early hour, in the same quiet, uninterrupted state, your brain begins to anticipate mastery. Your mind learns to focus more quickly. Your energy deepens, and your results compound. In these early morning hours, deep work becomes more than a practice. It becomes a superpower. And those who wield it consistently do not wait for opportunity. They create it. They do not hope for success. They engineer it. Every morning, as the world sleeps, they build the foundation of a life defined by achievement, purpose, and relentless progress. Your body is not just a vessel. It is the engine that drives your mind, your focus, and your purpose. If your body is sluggish, your thoughts are sluggish. If your energy is low, your clarity is clouded. That is why, in the sacred hours between 3 and 5 a.m., training your body is not optional. It is a statement, a declaration to yourself and the world that you are serious about your life, about your power, and about your potential. The early morning workout doesn't have to be long or complicated. It doesn't require a gym, fancy equipment, or hours of sweat. What it requires is intention. It requires that you show up for yourself, that you honor your body, and that you remind every cell in your being, I am alive. I am capable. I am in control. Start with movement that awakens the body. Simple stretches, a few sun salutations, or mobility exercises are enough to loosen stiff muscles and ignite circulation. Every joint you move, every limb you stretch, sends a message to your nervous system. Get ready. Today is yours to conquer. These small movements may seem insignificant, but in the early morning, they are a spark, a light switch that flips on energy, alertness, and readiness. From there, add in micro workouts that challenge strength and endurance. 20 push-ups, 15 squats, a 1-minute plank. Nothing excessive, nothing unsustainable. The point is not to exhaust yourself. It is to awaken your inner warrior. Your body is capable of more than you give it credit for. And the early morning is the time to prove it. When your muscles burn slightly and your breath deepens, you are reminding yourself that discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. The emotional impact of movement in the morning cannot be overstated. Each rep, each breath, each stretch is a small victory against inertia. You fight the voice in your head that says, stay in bed, rest a little longer. You conquer the laziness that threatens to dominate your day before it even begins. And in that victory, you feel a surge of confidence that cannot be given to you by anyone else. You create it. You own it. Short morning workouts also teach consistency and discipline. You don't need to run a marathon, lift the heaviest weights, or become a fitness guru. What matters is showing up, day after day, in the same quiet hour when the world sleeps. That commitment compounds. 1 week becomes a month becomes a year, and over time, your body adapts, strengthens, and carries you further than you ever imagined. Movement in the morning also sharpens the mind. Physical activity increases blood flow, oxygenates the brain, and stimulates the production of endorphins. After even a brief workout, your mind feels clearer, your focus sharper, and your energy higher. This is no coincidence. The body and mind are not separate entities. They are partners. When one thrives, the other flourishes. That's why training in the early hours is not just about fitness. It is about building a vessel capable of carrying your dreams and ambitions. Another critical aspect is presence. When you move intentionally, in the morning, you are practicing mindfulness without thinking of it as meditation. You feel your muscles engage, your breath deepen, your heartbeat rise and fall. You are present in your own body, in your own power, and in your own life. This presence carries over into everything else you do. Meetings, decisions, creative work, all of it benefits. When you are fully awake in your own skin, short morning workouts also teach humility and patience. Your body will resist at first. You may feel stiff, weak, or tired. But these small struggles are opportunities. Each time you persist, you reinforce a truth that extends far beyond exercise. I can endure, I can push, I can rise, even when it's hard. And that resilience becomes a foundation for every other habit, every other challenge, every other dream you pursue. Finally, this practice reminds you that self-care is not selfish. It is essential. By training your body in the early morning, you tell yourself that your health, energy, and vitality matter. You honor your potential. You give yourself the gift of momentum. And once momentum begins, it spills into every part of your day, into your work, your focus, your discipline, and your drive. Movement is a language. The body speaks, the mind listens, and the soul responds. In these sacred hours, you are not just exercising, you are igniting your life, fueling your energy, and commanding your day to unfold on your terms.